Welcome to Helpful Hints for 1033 Lab Project, Chapter 2. I'm going to explore two formulas. First of all, we're going to explore the simple interest formula and also the compound interest formula. First of all, number one, $5,000 is deposited into an account earning simple interest. So we're looking for simple interest. We know that we're using this formula over here. At an annual interest rate of 4% for 3 years, how much interest is earned? So we have our formula I equals P R T. We have a few elements that we need. First of all, we need the principal. That's going to be our $5,000. We need our rate. Now remember that P stands for principal, not percentage. So the R is the percentage rate. You might want to put that in as a decimal. And for 3 years, there's our time. Number two, for the situation in question one, how much money is in the account? So what this scenario gives you is only the interest, but the amount of money in the account is going to be the interest, and you have to add into it the principal. So you'll put those two things together because you already have the principal there, and you're going to get a little bit more interest. For number three, solve the interest formula for P. So when we have I equals PRT, this P right here needs to be isolated, and we need to identify what the R and the T are doing to that P and do the inverse operation. You're not supposed to include any numbers in here. You're not supposed to substitute any values for P and R and T. You're supposed to leave them as variables, I, P, R, and T, and just have P equals and then the other side when you're done. Here's a tutorial for how to use your TI-84 calculator. We're going to be using that for the compound interest because the compound interest will get much more complex than we need. First of all, a few ideas right here. All through here you have a few ideas on how to use fractions. Also, hands-on, we'll offer some tutorials. So for number four, we have $5,000 is deposited into account earning compound interest. And since we're talking about compound interest, we know we have that A is equal to P times the quantity 1 plus R over N, all raised to the NT power. Now we have a lot of the same elements. We still have our principal, and we still have the same rate, and we still have the same time. The only difference is now I have compounded quarterly. I'm not earning interest at the end based on the original principal, but I'm getting a little bit of interest all the way through. So compounded quarterly. So 4 times every year. That's going to provide that N for you. I'm going to be looking for words like quarterly, meaning 4 times a year. Also, you're going to see annually, semi-annually, and then obviously quarterly, monthly, daily, and those kinds of things in your homework. Problem number 4, how much interest was earned? Now, when we have the A equals, and then all of the rest of that, so the P and then 1 plus R over N, all raised to the NT power, then this gives me the total amount that's in the account. So since that's the total amount that's in the account, then that's everything, the interest included, and also the principal. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to go back and find the A and then subtract off that P. Number 6. Sarah would like to go on vacation in 5 years, and she expects her total cost to be $4,500. If she invests $3,700 into her savings account for those 5 years at 4.5% interest, compounding semi-annually, will she be able to go on vacation? A few important words here. First of all, we're talking about the word compounding, so that means that I don't want to use my simple interest formula. I want to use my compound interest formula. Now that formula is A is equal to the principal times 1 plus the rate over the number of times it compounds raised to the number of times it compounds times the number of years. So we need to identify what all of these things are. 5 years is going to be your time. This is going to be the A that we're looking for. This is going to be the principal that she starts with. This is going to be her interest rate. And semi-annually tells us that N is equal to 2. So what we want to know is if she invests $3,700. 1 plus. Make sure to write the R as a decimal, 0.045 over 2, compounding semi-annually, raised to the 2 times 5 power. Is this going to be greater or equal to $4,500? Now, it looks like it's not equal to. Let me change that to plus. So this right here is the calculator part. So we're going to type this into a calculator exactly as we see it. And if we find a number that's greater than or equal to $4,500, then she's saved enough for her vacation. For number 7 and number 8, we're going to look at a few of the definitions. Consider the things that we talked about when we looked at simple interest and what we had to do between number 1 and number 2. So we're looking for, did we get just the interest and then we had to add, or did we get everything and we had to subtract to find just the interest? And that's the same question we're going to ask for compound interest. Did we get only the interest and we had to add, or did we get the total and we had to subtract? Number 8, we're comparing just the amount that we got from simple interest versus the amount that we got in compound interest. Did you get more when you were looking at compound interest? Is there a benefit to using compound interest? And number 9, we're finding the price of a car. Now, every student is going to have a different principle here because every student will choose a different car. So I'm not going to put a number in here. I'm going to just choose P. So what we're doing is we're finding the price of a car online, and this is going to be the P. And when we're talking about the P, we're talking about the simple interest formula. Right here we know we're using simple interest. So we need the I equals P R T formula. So everyone's going to have a different number for P. Everyone will have the same rate. 7% will be your rate, and everyone will have the same number of years. So you're going to take your principal, and your principal, whatever number you get for your principal, the price of a car, and you're going to multiply that by the rate as a decimal point, 0.07, and then 5. Now, the first question that we see is, what is the total amount that you'll need to repay? Now, what you're going to have to do is you have the principal right here. You also have the amount of interest that you're going to find once you use this formula, so the total from this. So you're going to take them. This is equal to I right here. You're going to take the principal and you're going to add what you just got for I to be able to answer this question. You have to pay for a whole car and the interest on that car. The next thing is, how many months will you be paying for that car? We know how many years we're paying for that car. The number of years is going to be 5 years right here. So the question is, if we're going to be paying for 5 years, then how many months are in a year? That's going to be the total number of months that you'll pay. The last thing is, how much per month will you need to pay? Well, if that's the case, then you found your P plus I for the first part of the question. That's the total amount that you need to pay for the car. And you're going to take this and divide it by the number of months that you're going to pay, and that's going to be your payment.